Happy New Year!
Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of MEET-THE-EZIOHAS, a family endeavor where we openly talk about God, our family experiences, and our life experiences too. Thank you for joining us today. So I'm Amanda Ezioha.
I'm David Ezioha, and she said, as she has said, welcome back to another video. Thank you for coming on. And today we are going to talk about a very crucial topic that concerns both of us, and it is our journey as teenagers and how it feels like, or what it means to be a teenager in a Gen Z world. So let's get into it. My journey as a teenager started as on the 28th of April 2022. Yeah, because it's 2025 now, and I'm turning 16 this year. Yeah, that's 2022, 23, 2023, 2022, 21, yeah, around that area. On my 13th birthday, it was a very nice celebration. I had a family dinner with my family, and they made it clear that I was entering a very crucial state of my life, and it was a very important circle and um age I was entering into. And from that day, it was more responsibility, more workload, more task. And I think what some very key parts of my journey will have to be first of all pressure, because like from day one, like there was a lot of pressure as to learning, as to you have to, because you don't have any more time, you're going to be out of the house very soon. You have to grasp all you can grasp before you start going. And from day one, they made sure that I understood this. And I think it's a very good thing, and most parents should try that. You should not wait for when they turn 13 and wait for 6 months again. From day one, you should tell them that, see you, this and this, very soon you're going to leave, so you have to learn as much as you can learn now before you get on the road and into the world. Another very, very, very key part of the journey of teenagehood was me finding out who I am, what I am, and what I'm becoming. Because if you don't find yourself in your teenage years, I don't think you ever have the chance to find yourself again. Because your teenage years is either you find yourself, know yourself, or you find somebody else and try to become the person. And I feel like if you can get your children or your teenagers, or you yourself as a teenager, you could get yourself to know yourself, or have people help you know who you are. If you could get into activities that can show you what you are and what you are meant to become, and why God put you on this planet, I think it's very crucial in these teenage years. And I think that is one of the continuous things throughout teenage years, knowing who you are. I think another crucial thing about these teenage years is balancing between school, work, social life, and all that stuff. Because in these teenage years, yeah, you're going to go into the university very soon. You're going to go to college very soon, and if you go into college without having a very strong social life, very school life, very strong any of this, like if any of your lives are not strong at that point, I think you're going to succumb under pressure. You're going to break under pressure. You're not going to find it easy. You're not going to cope as much as if you had understood your social life, your school life in your teenage years. And I think a very, 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 very key thing to remember throughout your teenage years is that it's not like Hollywood. Those things they show in Hollywood are just movies. You don't have to be that teenager that doesn't fit in. Like there's no such thing as that. I never had that struggle to fit in or something like that, because we are a key and every key must fit in. It's just that you should not fit into the wrong things. A key cannot go into the wrong door hole. He puts a key into the door hole, you know whether it's the door hole, whether it moves. If it doesn't click, then it is not the key. You change the key, you go to another door. So that's how we should be. We should not try to fit in into a society or a group that we don't click in. Yeah, I think that's basically summarizing my journey as a teenager. And what I
Well, my journey as a teenager has been really cool. I started last year. So it's been a great journey for me, understanding my personality and what the things that I do that make me happy the things that I do that make me fit into environments. And yes, we also need to learn that it's not whatever people tell you. Yes, people can say things about you, but then don't allow their opinions define you. Don't make it to be like they are the ones that define you through what they say.
Yeah,
You should know where you stand. Don't allow others to just bring you down just
yeah.
because of things that they say to you.
Because a lot of teenagers, yeah, they try to fit in so bad that people's opinions get to their head. Like they want to be conformed into that image that people have of them. If people think you're something and you are not that thing, then you don't have to act like you are that. You don't have to be what they want you to be. You have to find out who you are, and you have to be who you are. Yeah.
And yes, as you said, you experience changes in your body. You start puberty, you start becoming more mature. So you shouldn't also allow those body changes also define you or make you feel less of yourself, because you are who you are. Nothing is going to change you unless you allow it to. So you should always know who you are and what makes you you.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Another thing that teenagehood is full of is lessons. Although it's a journey, yeah, and in every journey there's a lesson to learn. Even in games, there's always a point of the game, and I think the purpose of teenagehood is to learn, because this is your pinnacle of learning. If you ask me, it's that point in your life where it's do or die. You either learn now or you're behind. Like, teenagers are the years that everybody's trying to learn, and you have to learn skills. Because I've learned multiple skills in my teenagehood. I've learned cooking. I've learned um countless of skills.
It
If I
goes
keep on,
on and on and
the
on.
list goes on and on and on. And another thing that you need to learn is responsibility, because responsibility is very important in a teenager's life, because they are soon going to leave. You're not going to be with mommy anymore. Um, you're not going to be at her crib anymore. She's not going to be feeding you no more. You are on your own. So if you're not responsible, when you get to live on your own, you go here and
Find it
very
difficult.
find it very, very, very difficult. And I think it's something that every teenager should learn. Another thing I think teenagers should be able to learn is good working habits, because every person that has poor working habits is not going to work properly. You know, people think that, I myself used to think that it doesn't matter how you work as long as you get the work done eventually. But I'm coming to realize that it's not so. It's not meant to be that way. It's not meant to be anyhow work. It's meant to be proper working habits, proper work ethics, and proper work will be done. Another thing that I think is very, 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 very a very key lesson that I've learned in my teenage years, how much domination procrastination brings. Because teenagers don't understand that there's no longer any more time. I'm going to turn 16 this year, and like, I'm realizing now that I don't have time again. In a few years I'll be off. In a few years I'll be in university. In a few years I'll be done with university. In a few years I'm getting a job. And like, if I keep on procrastinating these skills I'm meant to learn, I'm going to learn them later in life. I'm going to learn them next week. There is no more time. Grab as much as you can grab today. So yeah, that's another very key lesson. Another key lesson I think that most teenagers struggle with is peer pressure. Peer pressure is it's very peer pressure can come in any way. It can come as somebody just people a group of people just doing something. That's peer pressure, because you either join the trend or you're against trend. I'm not saying that you should always be that person that is always doing OP off points. You should you can follow the trend when it's aligned to your moral values. And I think teenagers also need to learn how to pick their moral values, what they believe in, why they believe in it, and they should have a strong reason. Like, my daddy told me, it's not enough. It is not. You should believe it because of this. You believe it's right because of this. I believe that saying the truth is right because saying the truth is something that comes from the heart. Because it should be a strong reason. It should not be just any flimsy reason. I think another thing that teenagers should be able to learn is how to deal with the changes that are going to go down in their body. You're going to have to grow mustache like me, I'm going to lose something. You're going to grow pimples. Your body's going to undergo a lot of changes. It's okay that your body's undergoing changes. It's not abnormal. It is perfectly normal. You should not hate yourself because your body is undergoing changes. You should not hate yourself because you must even be changes. If your body is anyhow, if you're short, if you're not tall, you should be happy with yourself because you are you in the end. You should strive to be the best version of yourself. Not bring down the version of yourself that already is. You should look forward to a better image. Not past the image that you already are. If you look in the mirror, you should not be insulting the self that you see. You should be admiring the self that you will be. Yeah. So I think I think those are like important lessons that I've learned during my 2-3 years as a teenager. Any other lessons you have for us?
Taking responsibility, more like the exact same thing you said. Let's jump into the next topic.
Yeah. And the next section is going to be, drum please. It's going to be the things that we think that our parents don't understand or people don't understand about Gen Zs, and the wishes that we had that we could be able to live if we're allowed to change our life right now. What will be the things that we will ask and we will wish our parents would understand or be able to give us? Yeah, let's get into it. And for that, I have a very special guest. And that drum roll, please. Mr. Daniel EZIOHAS.
Yeah. Okay, so Gen Z's tell me what liberties do you truly crave for and wish you had because you're a teenager?
First of all, the society that the Gen Zs were born into was a society of freedom. We were born to believe that we were born in a time where freedom was adamant. Like it was everywhere. Everybody wants and strives for freedom. And I think the first thing that most Gen Z people would ask them, will wish for, is freedom. Freedom in most areas, freedom in their movement. They don't want to be tied down. They want to feel like they have a part of their life. They don't want the steering taken off them. They want to be able to drive with their parents. They want to be able to have inputs in their own lives. They want to feel like their lives are being stripped of them. Anymore?
Oh yeah, because the Gen Z is like the team of Gen Z is the technology. So we are all based on technology. We are technology oriented. So personally, I think that parents shouldn't always, I won't say they always do, but like they should give some access to technology to their children, because without technology, like we are, the team of Gen Z is useless.
Yeah, it's pointless.
It's pointless. So parents should at least give access to technology to their children. I'm not saying that they should give them everything in the whole wide world, provide everything, but at least they should have some certain access to some devices, and also less restriction of devices, because you find out that people, we love going on the internet, getting information from the internet. So if all those things are stripped away from us, there's nothing that we can do. We can't help ourselves, because we always want to look for more information. We are trying to learn new things every day, and the internet is something that helps us every day. So parents shouldn't exactly restrict the devices from their children.
So you're telling me if you strip access to some of these things, the Gen Z becomes nearly useless to himself.
Yeah, basically, that's like the basic point of Gen Z. No, I'm not saying that we become useless, but we have grown up. Like the surrounding and the time and era we are is in a tech world. As you can see, we are advancing in technology. So you cannot be in a generation that is advancing in technology and behind the technology. It feels weird. When you're with your peers, you won't have the same. You're going to be miles behind, because everybody has to catch up to a certain level of technology. And if you're a generation that is pioneering that movement, you have to be part of them. You cannot be behind while your mates are pioneering the movement. 15-year-olds are building robots. So I think it is basic that a child should be allowed to access internet.
But
It's just a
is there
child.
a downside to that? Really, because while I agree with you that your generation is technology driven,
Mm.
and while I also agree that you were born in a generation where there's so many tech toys,
Mm.
um, is that not a downside to that? Because some will argue that the generation has poor social skills
Mm.
because they are so into gadgets
Yeah.
um, that they don't have robust engagement socially. Um, so, what do you have to say about that? Uh, that that obsession with gadgets, with the internet, that completely shuts your generation off
Mm.
from meaningful interaction, even with family members.
Before I let her speak, I would just love to put a little input on this. Um, I think that's where balance comes in once again. I talked about balance earlier. We should learn to balance everything. Parents should monitor them and make sure their lives are balanced, because you cannot allow a child be on the screen all day. That's not possible. Um you should monitor them, allow them to have a balance in activities. After this certain hour, they should be able to change activities, but you shouldn't limit it per se that you can only have it for 30 minutes. That one. But for them to have it, it's not like they say too much of everything is bad
Yeah,
and too little of everything is bad. So
yeah,
like you should have a very good proportion of it. You should not give them 72 hours on the internet straight up, but 7 hours a day is not too much to ask for. From the point they come back from school to seven, even from morning to evening, 7 hours a day is not too much to ask for. I'm not saying 7 hours at a go. I never said that. 7 hours a day. It could be 2 hours at a go, then 2 hours then a break, then change of activities. But at least they should be able to access it if you have any.
Same
so
thing.
so what other liberties and freedom or access you wish your parents uh, give more?
This one is not my parents per se, but it's the view that people have in general. People despise and they chase the way Gen Z dress. I'm not saying that all Gen Z dress properly, because as you can see, there are some people that dress very wild out there. But there are some people that they don't dress bad. Their dressing is actually good. But the way people see it, they have this, they have this past understanding that and their generation didn't dress like this, so we are not allowed to dress like that. You see, fashion sense moves on per time. In the 90s, it was all suit and tie. Now it's long. In the last generation, it was all long sleeve. Our own generation is going to have our own dress pattern, our dress. So you guys should be, I think the world in general should be able to adapt to, when you see someone that is not dressing bad, you should be able to see okay and say okay. But you see someone that is dressing bad, you can chastise them. But people that are not dressing bad, you see, I don't think there's anything wrong.
No,
Nothing to.
we must understand there's a big difference between um, trend,
Mm.
fashion trend, and basic sense, basic fashion sense. Sometimes what is trendy don't meet or fit basic fashion sense.
Mm.
But it's a trend. You can have something just trendy. Anything trends. Trend is just what has become popular. All right. It has become popular because nearly everyone wants to do it,
Mm.
but it may be popular and not be foundational or meet basic fashion sense.
Mhm.
So, for instance, it will not make any sense if you're going to work in an office just because you're a Gen Z, decide to have your tie go backwards,
Yeah.
right? Now, that may be trendy, but it is not meeting basic fashion sense, especially in that work environment. So, my thinking is that your generation must really learn to understand that we don't live all the time on trend.
Mm-hmm.
trend should be built on a foundation. That foundation never changes regardless of time
Mm.
and generation.
Mhm.
It will always be there. While I am not against trend, the fashion sense in your generation will be certainly different from ours.
Mm.
But we certainly have some things that has been preserved over the years throughout our generation
Mm.
as basic fashion sense.
I agree with what you've said. Yeah, because yeah, you should not. If something is trending, it should be right trend. And if you're going to wear your tie backward, that's wrong. But my own point here is that, like, I've agreed with what you've said, but my own point here is that if they don't come out to work if they come to work without a tie, it's not wrong per se. You could have a shirt that's unbuttoned. Like that's basically, if Gen Z people do stuff like that are not wrong, I think we should be able to embrace them. But if they do something that is wrong and like they wear their tie backwards, they wear their shirts upside down, yeah, we should be able to say no now, that's wrong. But I'm like saying that the basic fashion trends that are not wrong, that ones that are not wrong, emphasis on not wrong, should be adopted and should be allowed.
Okay. So are there any other liberties that Gen Zs and teenagers in your generation crave for?
We have really started freedom, like that's no, I think okay. The technology and social media, they're basically the same thing. Yeah, they're basically.
Okay, maybe at this time we're going to have a reaction to a video of a young person, your generation, wanting more. I'd like us to look at this video and let me get your reaction on what you think is the correct thing to do. And who is at fault here? The Gen Z, the teenager, or the parent? Who here is missing the mark? So let's look at this reaction of a 15-year-old making demand.
Okay, so you want me to get her to do what? What would be the home run for you?
I need her to understand that I need at least $2,500 a month. She works all the time. She doesn't do anything for me. She doesn't drive me anywhere. And so other people would have their moms like drive them places, buy them food, make them food, but I have to do everything myself. And I need the funds for that.
So do you do that? When you have the money, are you in there in the kitchen frying up stuff and mixing up batter?
No, I'm buying food.
So you eat out a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make food at home, but then I get bored of just, I don't like cooking because it just makes a huge mess and then my mom gets mad at me. And I don't like cleaning up the huge mess and doing the dishes. And then I just don't like eating at home because it's the same boring food.
You say she's not there for you. How do you get to school every day?
I do online school. I don't go to school.
You don't go to school?
I don't go to like public school for other reasons.
Why not?
Like I just got traumatized. I can't get into that right now, but
You got traumatized?
yes.
Part of it is that she couldn't keep up with the lifestyle of the other
No, but
kids in Beverly Hills.
There's other reasons. I'm not just like being a brat about that.
But you don't go to school, do you? So you
I do online school.
Yeah, how's she doing?
She's doing okay. I had to push her a little bit to get some of those grades up, but when she wants to focus on something, she's doing good.
Yeah, and I like it because I can like actually focus on it because I also was behind like in public school. I was really behind because it would go so fast, and so now I can actually take my time. So that's nice. And I don't have the pressure that I had at school and everything.
Yeah, so you want a G-Wagon for your 16th birthday?
I need my G-Wagon.
Okay, let's react to what we've seen so far on is Gen Z on Dr. Phil's show. So you've seen a typical Gen Z making an unrealistic demand, I should say, as a parent. What do you think?
Well, I think that first of all, she's too demanding. yes, your mother has given you allowance. Yes, but you shouldn't, because she has given you allowance, and say, okay, this one is not going to be enough for me. You now start doing whether you want it or you don't want it, or like this one is not going to meet up to what you want to have, because she wants to have this thing. So I feel like the mother was at fault in, even, I'm not saying parents shouldn't give their children allowance for hard work and stuff. Yeah, but you shouldn't now, because maybe because your child is now demanding or is saying that, okay, I need this, you will now say, okay, because you need it, you give it to them. You should, at least there should be something that they did that has to make them earn it. It's not just you just dash them the money and say, oh yeah, take your allowance, do this, do this. And also parents should also train their children not to be too demanding, because the lady here was too demanding. Like, she's your mom and you're telling her all these things. She needs to give me. It's not that she can. He needs to. It's like you're talking. The daughter is like her mother, the mother's mother. So she should understand that there's a place for mother and daughter relationship, or a parent and a child relationship, and shouldn't cross that boundary.
My own thoughts. I can agree that the girl was too demanding. I'm going to share from two perspectives. First of all, I'm going to call out the girl for being too demanding, as we have already brought out. And what she said that gave me a little okay, maybe in the beginning, she said something that I think would have made me consider until she started being very, very demanding. She said that her mother could not strip of her life, or she has been used to it, so she can't do it immediately. So if it was me in that situation, what I would do was I would have done it progressively. If I was the parents in that situation, I'd have done it progressively, cut off her allowance a little bit, because I don't know whether, because as she said, has been used to it all her life. I'm not saying that the girl is right. I'm saying the mother could have handled this better by just doing it progressively. $100, $100, reach $1,000. But the girl on herself was being too demanding. They cut off your allowance, and so what? You can survive. Like, you can survive. For the fact that you made it to the show shows that you have not died. You have been surviving on that $1,000 I've been giving you. Oh, however, how much? I think it's $1,000. Yeah, she has survived on that $1,000. So I think on her own part, she should act nicely. And if it's not given to her, she should live with it. Her mother is not entitled to give her $2,500. Not how much that is. That can change my life. Just give me $100. I'm fine with $100.
Okay, let's see the concluded part of the video. Again, it shows where your generation sometimes is getting it wrong. Where the older generation were taught right.
And for your 16th birthday.
I need my G-Wagon. There's no question. I need it.
There's no question.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah. My mom's buying a Bentley for herself. Why can't I get a G-Wagon?
Why do you need a G-Wagon?
I really want the G-Wagon.
Well, I understand you want it, but why do you said I need the G-Wagon. Why do you need a
I
G-Wagon?
really like the way it looks. I've wanted one for over 2 years now. Every time I see them, you see so many of them near my house, and every time I see one, I'm in awe. I love them. The interior is so nice, and there's no blind spots at all. Like, it's so big and open. There's so much trunk space. It's amazing. And they look so nice inside. When you're inside, when you see the interior, the exterior doesn't even matter at all. It's just amazing. And I really want a nice car. She wants to give me a Mercedes C-Class. I will accept that car.
No, I started with a Honda or a Toyota, and then it barely gets.
I will be happy with that car, but the thing is, I want my G-Wagon. I want my G-Wagon!
Really? A C-Class?
No, we started with a Honda, a Toyota. I started with a Toyota.
Absolutely not. I will not be driving anything that can be considered an Uber X.
A what?
An Uber X.
An Uber X?
Yes, we're going Uber Lux and above.
My car doesn't cost $231,000.
Why not? I mean, why doesn't it?
That just seems like an exorbitant amount to spend on a car. It just seemed foolish to me. I just wouldn't spend it on a car.
Well, I want to. We're talking about me here. This
Yeah,
is my
so-
show.
Well, as we see here, she wants a G-Wagon for her 16th birthday. Her mother has offered to buy her a Mercedes-Benz C-Class. And she's making rubbish the Mercedes-Benz C-Class and will drive nothing unless it's a G-Wagon. Who do you think is getting it wrong here?
I think the girl is entitled. The mother, he didn't raise the girl. She's wait. You know what a Mercedes? Ah, what are even G-Wagon to do? I'm almost 60. I'm asking for G-Wagon. Hey, good. Don't say G-Wagon. They're giving her Mercedes Benz C class. Saying no. She was raised entitled. The parents did it. Her mother, like I don't know that she, but her mother, she didn't raise the girl up. She's way too entitled. But in this situation, the girl is more than wrong here. Like I cannot defend you, even if I try to defend her. It's not. She's wrong. She's wrong. She's wrong.
So what do you see here?
He's back to the same point of her being too demanding. She doesn't have the proper home training. She wasn't given the proper home training. She just asking for anything, and because of that mentality that they've given her, and she has already, okay, it's now becoming part of her, which is now probably will lead her to start misbehaving, asking for things that are not necessary, all in the name of she needs it, and because they've given her the liberty and freedom.
To add to that, when Dr. Phil asked her, why do you need a Mercedes, a G-Wagon? She never gave a good, nah. You don't need that car. You are just being, you don't even need a, you are 6, what? You can trek, oh.
Well, that is the thing about a generation that know no big things, no pricey things, but don't have a sense of value for them. I think one of the lessons that the generation will need to learn is the value of things. Not just I want this, I want that, but to know their value and to relate with life from that angle of value. Because for her, she probably came from a home that is very privileged. So they don't struggle with what they need or what they want to eat. And she's surrounded with that mentality. But we also know very rich people who train their family members or their children differently. They don't just hand them over whatever it is they want. They want them to learn the value of things. That's the only way they can maintain them. You just saw how that she has had a $100,000 bill that the parents had to pay off. So even if her parents are billionaires, that's not how to raise children. You don't raise them just to destroy them so that they have no sense of value and live to despise people. See how she called a Mercedes C-Class and an Uber drive or a Uber car because she has no sense of value for things and their true worth. So if there's a lesson that that's what I see about this teenager. If she grows up and marries, the man will be in trouble. Yeah, because she will be an oppressor. Because she has an eye of despise. She despises everything that's not up to
Her
what her
standard,
standard
yeah.
or what she's demanding. That's crazy. That's not how to raise teenagers. So what are your concluding thoughts on this general assessment of teenagers and their parents and what we could do more or do less?
First of all, don't let your children be entitled. Let them know the value of things. Let them know that this costs this and this, you get this by working. They don't wake up one morning and ask for a private jet, ask for a dinner in London. They don't do that. You raise them properly, no matter how rich or background they came from. You raise them properly. And we teenagers, we should learn that first of all, our growth has to be continuous. We should be able to learn the value of things, learn how to hear from this generation that has been here way before us. They are older than us, so they have a sense of wisdom. We might know, we might think we know a lot, but there's still a lot to learn.
Yeah.
They have been on this earth way before us. They understand the principles, they understand it. We are a generation of knowledge, but knowledge is not something that has been since we were born. It has been here before we were born.
Yeah.
So they have compounded this knowledge, and we should be able to add what they have to what we have, so that we can pass it on, and that's how we only get better.
Okay.
Okay, so quick summary on what we've all learned. Proper home training is needed. Every child needs home training in order for them to function in the society properly,
Yeah.
and to be able to do things and to be able to work for what they need, what they want. So we shouldn't give our children everything just because they ask of it.
I agree.
You should, at least there should be some things that you give your children and something that you tell them, sit them down and tell them, look, oh, it's not like we can't do this, but you need to understand the reason why we are not doing it. You have to tell them the reason, give them home to the training that they need to know and to understand the value of things in general.
Yeah. So, for me, as parent, we must learn to say no. And saying no to your teenage son or your teenage daughter isn't wrong. By letting them know that there are boundaries, there are limits, and there are things they should learn to do, is going to help shape their thought pattern and help them appreciate things when they have access to them. But if every time they ask you say yes, you're destroying them not knowing. So, from us to you, it's Happy New Year, and do subscribe to our channel and let others know, share with others. If this video has been helpful to you, share with others. Let them know that they can count on us again for another episode. Until we come your way again next time.
Hi! See y'all!